29th, 2019 afternoon session of the Portland City Council. Keelan, please call the roll.
Hardesty. Daly.
Here.
Fritz.
Here.
Fish. Wheeler.
Here, I think we don't need to go through the whole legal statement this afternoon, boiling it down into one sentence. Please do not disrupt people who are here presenting or people up here who are presenting. If you do, then the council rules will require us to notify you that you're being disruptive, which will probably be self-evident. And if you continue, then we may ask you to leave. That just boiled down 2.5 minutes worth of commentary.
I don't know, Mayor. They look like a pretty rowdy bunch.
The guy in the front row on the left with the blue shirt, let's just keep a little extra focus over there. So we have two wonderful things to discuss this afternoon, and the first one, Keelan, is item number 823.
Proclaim August 29th, 2019 to be Stand Foot Day.
Commissioner Udaley.
Thank you, Mayor. I am so grateful to Stan Foot for his vital work as the artistic director for the Oregon Children's Theater. Understands leadership, the Oregon Children's Theater has exponentially expanded cultural and artistic opportunities for the children of Oregon. His work has brought education, creativity, and pure joy to over 3 million Oregonians. I hope one day to be able to make that same claim, Stan. As a lifelong lover of the arts and a parent, I know firsthand how much early exposure to art can make a fundamental difference in a child's development, and I know that the benefit of arts education lasts a lifetime. When he was first hired to develop OCT's educational programs, Stan formed the Acting Academy, the Young Professionals Company, and other school programs across the state. He has directed nearly 50 plays and helped create 20 new scripted adaptations of beloved children's classics, such as The Giver by Lois Lowry and Holes by Louis Sacker. Rhymes with cracker. I had to look it up to make sure I said it right today. None of these achievements would have been possible without you, Stan. I also know how much you believe in the mission of OCT and the future of the organization. You leave the organization in good hands. I want to thank Ross McKean, Managing Director. I also want to acknowledge Advocate for the Arts and board member Stan Pankin, who helped put this proclamation together. Thank you so much for your service to Oregon's children. You truly deserve this recognition, and we will all miss you, but I'm sure you're still going to be around, and hope you enjoy your retirement. We always say that to hardworking people who attempt to retire. Now I want to welcome Stan Pankin, board member, and president. I always struggle with this word. Emeritus, from the Oregon Children's Theater. He will be speaking first, so come on up. Then Ross McKean. Yes, you may approach the
I want him to get lonely.
table. All right.
He's not used to doing this kind of thing.
And do we have Ross McKean here?
This is Ross.
Wait, sorry, I've been looking at you as if you were Stan. I'm
No,
sorry.
It happens all the time.
We're going to bring
I
Stan
can't
up
wait to get rid of
afterwards.
him for that reason.
Now I'm really embarrassed.
Right now, you have to deal with
Feeling
this
the
Stan.
love, feeling the love.
Best send-off yet. That was great.
Yeah.
Well,
So he hasn't been allowed to, where is Stan? Oh, okay. Why are you sitting behind?
I hope he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be so sad if you missed all of this.
Well,
Okay.
around the theater, I'm known as the other Stan. I'm the junior Stan, he's the senior Stan.
Okay, no wonder
He's the
I'm
important
confused.
Stan.
It's Thursday afternoon. Things can get a little loose around city council. All right, so, and then we will hear from Stan Foot, man of the hour. Mayor Wheeler will read the proclamation, and then we're going to take a quick photo, so don't run away immediately. Take it away, Stan.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, for helping us honor this remarkable man today. Stan, who has done incredible work in helping to transform the lives of children at OCT, I think for nearly 30 years. So thank you very, very much. And it's kind of appropriate that today happens to be Stan's birthday. I don't even know what year, but
Should we sing him the song?
And also appropriately, last Saturday night was our annual fundraiser, and it was the most successful one in our history.
That's great.
With much of the funding going towards the Stan Foote Youth Access Fund, which will provide scholarships and other benefits for children going forward. So we're pretty happy about that. So just a quick story, which OCT people have heard this many times, but I'm going to repeat it again. About 7 or 8 years ago, my wife took our two oldest granddaughters, at the time maybe 13 and 10, to an OCT show. And the show was Gossamer by Lois Lowry, who, by the way, was here for a celebration Saturday night. When my wife Suzanne came back with the girls, it was a Friday night. Those are back in the days when we used to have sleepovers with these kids. They're now both in college. And the kids were just bubbling over about the show. And I said, well, what's it about? And they were talking about, it was a little bit on the dark side, but it had an element about parental child abuse. And I said, wow, it's a kids show? How can that be? That kind of a topic for kids? And it kind of blew me away, but they were excited. They had learned things. They were just bubbling over with talking about it. Made them think about a lot of things. So that was that. Ironically, about, I would say 2 weeks later, I happened to be at a breakfast of champions. And who did I wind up sitting next to? But you guessed, it was Stan. And we had never met each other. I knew who he was, but we never met. And we got to talking, and I told him about the experience of our grandkids. And I said, it really surprised me that there would be a topic like that in a kids' show. And he said, well, Stan, you basically said you just can't underestimate what kids can understand.
That's right.
What they should be understanding, or what they should be exposed to. And I was just really, really impressed. And that was one of those moments where, for Stan and myself, it was an instant love affair between us. We just kind of hit it off, and it was instant chemistry. And that's how I became associated and acquainted with OCT. And it was a few years later, Stan and I used to get together socially and talk about things. And one day, he said, how would you like to be on the board? I said, well, I don't know, maybe. And the rest is history. So congratulations to Stan. I cannot say enough about him. He has done just remarkable work. His heart is overflowing. His feeling for kids is just incredible, and his understanding of kids. So Stan, we love you. I love you. Congratulations, and we will miss you. And unfortunately, he's not going to be around. He's going to be heading off to Mexico. But we hope to bring him back from time to time and share things with us. So
Can I come with
Okay.
you?
that's it for me.
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity and the privilege of being able to say a few words about Stan. It's difficult to say just a few words about Stan, let alone it's difficult for me to say just a few words in any setting, so excuse me. Be patient with me.
We have an extra seat up here for you.
Yeah,
You fit right in.
Every city is shaped over time by many people, known and unknown, recognized and ignored. And I know that you can't publicly celebrate everyone who deserves it, but I'm happy that you've chosen to recognize Stan Foote's impact on Portland in this way and on his birthday. I can't tell Stan's story, and I'm reluctant to do amateur psychoanalysis, but let me take a stab at it anyway, because Stan's early experiences, the stories he's told, I know have influenced his approach to this work. Stan grew up in a rural community in Northern California. Shingletown is a logging community without a lot of opportunity or choices available to young people, and with high expectations of what it meant to be a boy and a man. That was a challenge for a kid with a big imagination. I can only imagine myself, and particularly for one who is gay. You know, it's football and logging, from what he tells. But the arts showed Stan that other paths were possible. He tells me of a teacher who took him to a symphony orchestra performance in a big city. And I may have it wrong, but was it Reading? Reading. Big city, Reading. And how that experience of this work of beauty that was performed by real people opened his eyes to what was possible. That these were people doing this work of creating this work, and it was a possibility. It was an awakening for a life he could aspire to. And I think that goal has carried over all these years in his work, and led him to theater, and eventually brought him to Portland a little over 40 years ago. Because of his 28-year history of leadership over Oregon Children's Theater, it's easy to overlook his contributions to the rest of the theater community. So I just want to touch on that. Stan was immediately immersed in the city's thriving theater community. You know, the theater community now is just booming and active, but it was in the 80s as well. There was just lots going on, and Stan was in the heart of that. He had a stint as Boring G. Boring in a play called Professor Bodywise, a Kaiser Permanente touring performance. I think what he came away from that was an aversion to having costumes, purple full body costumes on stage, and so you won't see those often at Oregon Children's Theater. And many years later, that connection to Kaiser led to a long-term partnership we still have with them to deliver programs about social emotional learning and about resilience and trauma-informed care that's just deep in the community. But his career as an actor led him to directing, and he quickly became an in-demand director in Portland. He has a long list of directing gigs and awards for his work, particularly at Lakewood Theater, but also at Artist Repertory Theater and others. He was just the go-to guy for directing shows. And I know that Stan appreciates, I'm speaking for him now, those opportunities that he was given to direct when he had relatively little experience. And the willingness somebody had to take a chance on him and the difference that made has carried forward to his commitment to create opportunities for others. And he is constantly thinking about who are the young directors, the designers, the actors, the teachers, and how can I find opportunities for them to learn and grow. So that's become part of our core DNA. It's a value. But the other part that's really at the core and that Stan alluded to, and Chloe in your remarks, is this deep respect Stan has for the intelligence of young people. He's approached his directing, his teaching, his mentoring with the belief that everyone can improve no matter what level they're starting from. A teenager with years of training and stage experience is not exempt from receiving directing notes from Stan Foote, especially if they've been trained in what you might call the Disney school of over-emoting. They will come in full confidence and he'll say, lose that. Don't do that. But at the same time, I've seen him with 5-year-olds giving notes in a kind and caring way. I've seen him with kids with severe emotional, intellectual disabilities and physical disabilities, and he'll coach them and find a step. He does a public speaking program called Loud and Clear, and I've seen him work with a kid, a teenager in a wheelchair with no ability to communicate orally and figure out how that kid can make a speech and how we can accommodate that because he believes like, you can do this, we can do this. I've seen his work or heard of his work with St. Mary's Home for Boys, where he loves to work every summer, and I think it's been hard for him to pass that on to someone else as he's leaving, but where he doesn't look at the kids in that program, the teens in that program, as troubled kids or part of the justice system. He sees them as actors and as kids that are capable of diving in and learning and improving. And that's really what he brings and what will carry on. I just try to emphasize that that is so in the spirit and the body of what Oregon Children's Theater is now, that that's not going to go away, but it's been a huge contribution. His direction, guidance, and mentoring is welcomed and appreciated because it comes from this place of caring, from his heart, and it's delivered with authenticity. Oregon Children's Theater is a heart-driven space, and that's Stan. I try, but it's him. No, we've all got it now. It's not uncommon for a parent enrolling in their child in a class to say, Stan taught me when I was a kid, or I came and now I'm bringing my kids to see a show. It's multi-generational. or a former student in our young professional program to drop in from college or from their career just to say hi to Stan or to Danny, who runs that program, and let them know how their studies are going, or how their acting career is developing, or how their acting experience with us has helped them become a better engineer or a doctor. It's just a remarkable story. Anyway, I have so much more to share, but I want to end with my gratitude towards Stan for being my friend and business partner in this endeavor for the past 13 or 14 years. I wish him the best as we move on. And we actually have a short video we want to show now. And then I think Stan wants to just say a few words too. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Working at OCT was hands down the most formative, broad experience I had as a kid, and Stan was my biggest mentor and teacher in that. I want to thank you for always believing in me, and like the force of your belief in me has forced me to believe in myself as well, and that is more valuable than I could ever say. I just want to thank you so much for always believing in young artists way more than they can believe in themselves. That is such a powerful thing to have as a kid.
I also wanted to thank you for encouraging me to work hard, take my craft seriously, and treat everybody with kindness and respect.
I'm grateful for Stan Furt because he taught me how to act from the heart.
Thank you for always believing in me and teaching me to act every moment with intention. I just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done for me in my professional career.
Thank you, Stan, specifically for the mentorship and the advice on my posture.
I'm always so grateful for everything that I learned from you and for the experiences that you created for me and for so many other young actors.
Stan, I am currently literally in the middle of nowhere doing a Shakespeare play. And if it wasn't for you and what you did at OCT, I wouldn't have known that I wanted to be here.
Stan gave me a shot at a main stage show, and now I'm going to school for this.
So thank you, Stan, for inviting me into this community, for constantly pushing me, for believing in me, for motivating me. Just being a great human being.
And I am so thankful that I've had the opportunity to grow and learn from you.
Honestly, without Stan, I don't think that I would be an actor today.
It was the first time I got to play a crazy, ridiculous, over-the-top character, and that's still what I love to do.
I literally wouldn't be the person I am today without you.
I'm so happy that I was able to learn from you and work with you and have my childhood defined by the stories you told on stage. So thank you so much.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Stan, for everything that you've done for me.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you. Thank you so much, Stan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for teaching me about growing up and about the importance of staying not grown up and for everything else. Love you, Stan.
Can you project?
I can. First of all, Sandra Perlman right there started Oregon Children's Theater. Danny Baldwin, who is a dedicated mentor for all the young professionals, all those people you saw. And there are a lot of artists in the room, and thank you all for coming, and friends and family and all of that, and the brothers from the union, which makes me so happy. Boy, I was thinking I'd be a lot more eloquent than this. Moved to Portland 40 years ago. It was loaded with opportunity, an incubator for lots of different things. It's what I hope that continues to be. And I know there's a lot of stresses going on in this town right now. And I think arts have a way of healing things. And I believe in these youth that are in the room, and that they will heal things. I guess the main thing I wanted to say is nobody does this alone. I am so fortunate and privileged. A lot of things happened while I was here. So the reason I rose, talk about privilege, the reason I rose as a director so quick is at least 7 directors in town died of AIDS immediately while I was here. That benefited me, but that's weird. And I acknowledged that. My buddy Greg Tamlin, who directed at the same time, all of a sudden we were popular directors and we got to grow really quick because there were openings for that. Also, I'd like to say, all of these people are really young up there. I had a 50-year-old email me and say, "You were my first director when I was 11." So there's a generational thing happening here that's amazing. I love Portland, Oregon. I want it to be that thing again that incubates the arts. There are 2 children's theaters in town. Both children's theaters' homes have for sale signs on them right now. Wow. Art spaces are disappearing. Both children's theaters are nationally known, respected across the country, yet are on this fragile balance of space. And that's with a lot of organizations. So as a city council and as a mayor, arts define this town. We're the largest city in Oregon. Our organization alone serves people from Bend. We have school buses coming from Hermiston. We have buses coming from Tillamook. We have buses coming from Centralia. We are vital to the development of children in this community. And I hope that some way or another that becomes a priority in space in this town. It's a blessing to be here. There's no possible way any other city could take a rural country boy from Shingletown, California, whose earliest memory was selling newspapers in a bar, and have a day dedicated to them. So thank you very much. Thank you all very much. I love you. That's it. All I got.
Well, that's not quite it, right? The mayor would like to now read the proclamation.
Stan, before I read the proclamation, I have a burning question. Selling newspapers in bars, is that a lucrative business?
For a 6-year-old, not very, but I guess my parents needed the money enough to feed us that's what we did.
Absolutely. Thank you. I just didn't see that as necessarily being the greatest business idea, but it was a good start.
Yeah.
It was a good start. Well, we're grateful to have you here. And the city council, the way we like to acknowledge people in the community is through the reading of proclamations. And as mayor, I have the honor of reading the proclamation, but it's really a statement on behalf of the entire city council and, of course, by extension, the entire community. And so this is a small and easy thing for us to do, but we want to acknowledge that it is truly heartfelt. And it's something that we put a lot of value into. And I want to thank you for everything you've done. So without further ado, I have the honor of reading this proclamation in your honor. Whereas Stan Foote, after 28 years of exemplary artistic leadership, is retiring as artistic director of the Oregon Children's Theater. And whereas, under Stan's leadership, Oregon's Children's Theater has grown to become a leading provider of performing arts and arts education for young audiences, bringing both joy and learning to over 3 million children. And whereas Stan has exemplified a deep commitment to and respect for the intelligence and capacity of all children, and has guided the development of OCT's wide-ranging educational programs, which teach essential life skills such as empathy, teamwork, courage, personal expression, and creativity. And whereas Stan has shepherded the development and production of over 20 original scripts for young audiences in collaboration with local and national authors, playwrights, and theater artists, with many of those scripts being subsequently produced nationally and internationally. And whereas Stan has deep roots in Portland's theater community for over 3 decades, having worked alongside Portland's actors, designers, stagehands, playwrights, teaching artists, and stage managers. And whereas Stan has been committed to advancing OCT's vision of reaching all children, families, and communities, and overcoming barriers to access, equity, and inclusion. And whereas the city of Portland is grateful for Stan's exemplary service to children, families, and our entire community. Now therefore, I, Ted Wheeler, Mayor of the City of Portland, Oregon, the City of Roses, do hereby proclaim August 29th, 2019 to be Stand Foot Day in Portland, Oregon, and encourage all residents to observe this day. This is for you, Stan. Thank you.
I really think we need to sing him happy birthday, so let's do this. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stan. Happy birthday to you. All right, we're gonna do a photo?
All right, could we do a photo down front here?
Oh, of course.
Great.
Where do I go? Stay here? I got skills. All right. Thank you.
Oh, wait. No, I haven't.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Very good.
We might have a little break.
I just love the days where it's all fun.
Yeah.
All right. And it is a time certain, right?
Yeah.
All right. Keelan, we are in recess till 2:45.
Okay.
in session. Keelan, could you please read item number 824?
Proclaim August 2019 to be Tongan Heritage Month.
Commissioner Udaley.
Thank you, Mayor. And Malo. Oh, sorry. Malo. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I got one word right. Just I don't know if you were here earlier, but I got a few wrong. Okay. Malo, I am pleased to present this proclamation today in celebration of Tongan Heritage Month. I want to thank our SummerWorks intern, Ocean Eel, who I thought would be in the room, but I don't see him, who is of Tongan descent and helped in the preparation of my opening remarks. As I learn more and more about the Tongan community, I'm struck by how much they've contributed to the city of Portland, especially in terms of adding more diversity, compassion, and spirit to our city. The Tongan community shares common values with all Portlanders, such as an emphasis on family and togetherness. In the Tongan community, when someone achieves their educational or career goals, the family comes together to celebrate. From the immediate family to the extended family, church members, friends from school and work, every person who's been a part of the journey joins the celebration because when one person succeeds, everyone succeeds. Likewise, when someone is going through a hard time, the family and community come together to provide support. Portland is a city that welcomes immigrants and refugees from around the world and values their contributions to our diverse cultural landscape. That welcome has been no different for the Tongan community, which has grown exponentially in Portland since the late 1970s. We are fortunate to have the Tongan community as part of our larger community, and we celebrate you today. Welcome. Now, I'm pleased to call up our speakers to proclaim August as Tongan Heritage Month. And we'll hear from 3 community leaders, followed by a short performance before the mayor reads the proclamation. So I'd like to call up Lute Richards, Katau Kavatalu, and Kolini Fusidua. Fusidua?
Yes.
I know him by Kolini.
It was beautiful.
Welcome.
Beautiful, thank you. So, good afternoon, Mayor Wheeler and esteemed commissioners. My name is Kolini Fusitua, and I'm here to represent the Tongan community. I am moved just hearing the description of who we are. It makes me feel good that you guys are paying attention because it's just a mirror of who our community are here in Portland. So thank you for that description. I want to thank everybody here, my community that's here to want to share a little bit of who we are, some of our challenges, and some of our success stories. We just had our third Tonga Day. That was about 2 weeks ago on the 17th, and some of you staff were there, and the letter from the mayor was accepted by the community, and we want to continue this relationship and the support from the city on building the only Tonga Day in the nation. We've had, this is our second year having delegates from the Tongan government. We had 12 last year, we had 9 this year. And we want to build that relationship, but that's a relationship with the Tonga Day and the Tongan government. But we want to move from there to have the city of Portland government have a relationship with our delegate that's coming here to support us. And your body are supporting us, and we accept that, and we want to continue having a working relationship. The Portland Parks is a huge supporter. So we want that to continue. Commissioner Fritz has always been there to support us. We have the new Commissioner Fish coming on board, and his staff has been there. So the good thing is we have personnel shifting, but the relationship is still there. We want that. We had a great relationship with the police bureau about 4 or 5 years ago. Today, we're losing that. We're losing that because of the personnel shifting. But we want to have relationship with bureaus. We don't want to just have relationship with individual, because when people shift, We still want to build that relationship. Unfortunately, that relationship is phasing out, and we want and we hope to continue to get this relationship fired up again. I spoke with the Assistant Chief Davis, about Tonga Day 2019. He had no clue what it is when I asked for support, because what we've had is back and so forth. He had no clue. Shift over to the commander, East Portland. She had no clue, and some of her staff had no clue. Fortunately, after Tonga Day, we had Lieutenant Leo Besner follow up with me. He heard of what happened, and he was there from the beginning. And as I mentioned success story, I want to mention Leo Besner. When we had the relationship with the police, at first it was a challenge, because the youth is following the social media, having the fear and judgment of officers and so forth. But as time goes, they're bonding with officers and even to our elders. One time, 11 o'clock at night, I have one of our elders call me. He says, Colini, somebody's trying to steal my car, scare them away. It's late at night, but I want you to get that white cop. They came over last week to speak to us. I want that white cop to come over to my house. You know, that's a relationship, because he doesn't want to report to the police. He wants to report because that white cop, I want him to come to my house. I want to make a complaint. So we want to have a white cop like that to make our community feel good. Thank you very much. Colini, Fustua.
Thank you. That was a mic drop moment. That was beautiful. Thank you.
And Colleen, I just want you to know I couldn't come to your event because I was at my son's wedding in Chicago. I'll be there next year.
All right, thank you.
Good, and I want you to know that I'm taking good notes here, and I will most certainly report this back to the Bureau, and we'll see ways that we can continue to strengthen that relationship.
Right. Excellent.
We'd love to do that.
Excellent, thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor Wheeler and esteemed city commissioners. My name is Lute Richards, and I am here representing the Tongan community. And some of the many of us are here with me. If I can ask them to stand up. First and foremost, we thank the Almighty God for our leaders of our city and state and our beloved country of America. We, as Tongan community, are very honored and thankful for this wonderful opportunity you've given us to be here and witness as you voted in and proclaiming our one-day annual celebration to be celebrated throughout the month of August. Mr. Mayor and City Commissioners, we know of Oregon to be of many extraordinary slogans, from Make Oregon Green to now we say Keep Oregon Diverse. By you recognizing our Tongan culture, traditions, and heritage to be known and studied within our neighboring communities, if I could allow this moment to address about one or two needs of our community may be facing, along with continuing challenges in working to make their communities safer places. We would have our community gatherings, meetings, our annual Tonga Day celebration, to family reunions held at many public parks. Maybe you could hire a Tongan community representative to have jobs there at your Portland City Parks. It can help our community having some similar, familiar faces there when we come and use and clean the parks afterwards. With the Tongan community member being hired a job into your city hall, that could help community growth and diversity to land use and strategic planning along with their legislature for our city and state. This is not limited to increasing community members in professional jobs within the city and access to community resources building of their own. We are defined by many that Tonga is but a friendly island a hardworking people and willing to learn new stuffs. Our social change activities are pride in our community and heritage, and knowing one's neighbors, helping each other, good communication, and having people who go the extra mile is what we are and striving to do in our daily continuing challenges. But with strong leaders we have and support for families and programs for youth, we can achieve many great things. Thank you, Council, for the opportunity to present my speech and your kind attention to my comments.
Thank you. Appreciate your being here.
Good afternoon, Mayor Wheeler
Afternoon.
and elected city commissioner. My name is Kato Kavapalu, and I'm here to represent the Tongan community. And I'm happy to thank God for this day, that we feel that this is our place, this is our country, this is our land. And I'm happy today to have a little speech about the student. We have some couple of students in Portland that they finished from high school, from college, but there's nothing to do. We would like to see if any internship, if any scholarship. We are so happy to accept it. But this time, only a little student from Tonga. Why? Because they are neglected with financially. They are with sometimes they are helped with some commissioner and some people from the state of Portland. But now we ask for our student. This year, we did a little program in our Tonga Day to acknowledge our student from high school and the student from university. We just have a little gift card and we just acknowledge them in the program. Can you see their mind and their face? They are so happy and proud that our people recognize them. So that's one of our things that we really want to look at it in our Tongan community. The second thing is the elderly people. We have so many elderly people here. I'm working as a nurse, and I'm taking care of elderly people in so many assisted living, but there is no Tongan. They just stay home because of financially. And sometimes we'll try to have equipped some of our place so they can have comfortable as they have their home. And we want to have sometimes a program that have some craft. Can you see our craft from Tonga? We have it here. And we just have our traditional culture way of dressing. We just want to proud that we are Tongan. And also, we just want some program and see if any part-time people, or I will be happy to take care of our elderly, to take them to the beaches, to take them to some of the place, to enjoy their time before they go to heaven. We just love our elderly people. Anyway, we just thank you for the city of Portland. We have some food stamps. We have something. We just enjoy that. We just enjoy whatever we have. So that's the only thing we are trying to emphasize our students and also our elderly people. Thank you very much for the opportunity that you present and also for elected city commissioner for accept our Tongan, really Tongan Day today.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is mostly of our economic in Tonga is craft. And you can see this is our Tongan Colini and the other lady and this one here that's made with hand. And now we just brought this one, Mayor Wheeler, just for you, for your little center or your corner of your place, just to remember the Tongan. We have this
tiny
little
corner.
center made for you, just to provide for your family from the Tongan community.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you. And we'll display it in a very prominent location. That is gorgeous, and we'll put it in a place where lots of people can see it and admire it and think of you and your community. That was very, very thoughtful of you. Thank you.
If we can turn your attention to, we have a performance from the island of Tonga. This is our national Tongan flag.
It's not the Red Cross. It's
Yeah.
really our flag. We're claiming it.
Yeah.
Are you declaring an emergency?
We post it up and people asking for Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It's good.
We don't have a very good sound system.
Start over.
That was outstanding. Thank you.
So that's our traditional dance. And this is how it goes. You're gonna have a girl doing the dance, and you have to have a good-looking guy, smart guy, young guy, to dance behind her to protect her as a warrior. Today, we couldn't find one, so I stepped up. We're gonna have our last speaker.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Mayor, that we are, and all the city councilor. My name is Sione Malua. It's an honor to be represent the Tongan community to you today. I am not the one supposed to say today. I have no number, not number 2 or not number 3, and no alphabet 2. I am a guy that show up and they put me in here. That's why I'm here today. I'm a pastor for the Tongan Fellowship in Vancouver. But I came and stayed in Portland for 40 years. And today I just think is kind of a connect with the Bible. 40 years of exile from in the desert, Israel people. And today, I think the day we're going to walk to the blessing land. Everything is put on the table, and I say thank you very much for the mayor and the councilor and all the help you give to the Tongan people. And we feel today, right now, everybody is going, not only recognized in here, but outside in Portland and going to be spread all over the United Methodist, the United States. Because what I'm talking about, every time I say to someone, I come from Tonga Island, he said, where the hell is Tonga? I try to make them understand. They know Hawaii, they know Fiji, they know New Zealand, they know Samoa, but us never recognize. We are Kingdom Island in our whole life. And our flag over here says so, it's not the Red Cross, but so we are a Christian kingdom. And this is the only things just put us together. But right now, what you work on it for 3 years right now, we feel like we are on the table right now. We're going to deal with you and thank you for not only recognize us, but we're going to accept us. We are a little baby to your care because we still growing. In 40 years I was here, we still not stand up. We still need your help. And this is what those people doing to be giving to you what we need. We need a home. We can stay here. This is our home. This is our place. Right now, we know this is our home. With our children, is growing up to be an American Tongan kids. We don't want to forget our country and where we're coming from, but we want them to continue walk hand by hand with American. They are American, and they are Tongan too. And I'm looking forward. They're going to do a great thing. Not only this country, but the whole world. Because today we're going to make something in here, and I feel our children is going to be know right now what is their state, their situation right now. So to make them feel they are something. Not going and they ask, you come from Tonga, where is Tonga? And they back off. We need them to feel this is their country and this is where they stand for. United we stand. And I think today we are united. And I'm here to say thank you for all the things you do for us, but we still need you. And we need all the help for our next generation to coming up. It's different from us. It's coming up. They are so proud to be a Tongan American kids. And I think my time is only 3 minutes, and I'm sorry if I'm over, but thank you very much, and I'm happy to meet you, Mr. Mayor, today, and Councillor. Thank you very much. Malo apito. Ofato.
Thank you.
All right, let's do a picture.
Wait.
Oh, well.
Well, there goes the surprise.
Yeah.
The city council likes to recognize, to acknowledge, and to honor people in the community, and the highest way that we can do that collectively is through a council proclamation. And as mayor, it's my honor to read this proclamation on behalf of all of us. Whereas Tongan Americans are Americans who can trace their ancestry to the Oceania country of the Kingdom of Tonga, there are approximately 57,000 Tongans and Tongan Americans living in the United States. Tongans are considered to be Pacific Islanders in the United States Census and are the fourth largest Pacific Islander American group in terms of population after Native Hawaiians, Samoan Americans, and Guamanian Chamorro Americans. And whereas there are 1,300 people of Tongan heritage and descent living, celebrating, and working in Portland, Oregon. And whereas the Tongan community cherishes a multi-generational family structure and holds a tradition of caring for their elderly at home, which reinforces the passing of cultural preservation to their American-born children. And whereas Tongans seek to be part of mainstream society, they seek to preserve Tongan culture and language, the essence of true community integration, and hope for a future opportunity to have Tonga as a sister city to Portland. And whereas Tongan culture is shared with community throughout family traditions, music, faith, dance performance, island food and quilt making, the majority of Tongan men work in the residential construction arena, masonry, and concrete industry, and all Tongans seek economic opportunities and a desire for higher education. And whereas the Tongan community seeks ownership of safe public spaces and to establish rapport with Portland's diverse community, for which they are elated to celebrate their third annual Tonga Day in the city of Portland on August 17th, and to have the city welcome the Tongan delegates traveling to Portland specifically for this event. And whereas the city of Portland welcomes the continued growth, prosperity, and health of the Tongan people in the City of Roses. Now, therefore, I, Ted Wheeler, the mayor of the city of Portland, Oregon, the City of Roses, do hereby proclaim August 2019 to be Tongan Heritage Month in Portland and encourage all residents to observe this month. Thank you. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. And now we're going to do some photos.
All right, we'll just come on down
All right.
here.
Thank you.
We will go ahead and adjourn. And then we can take our photos at our leisure.